Both of them went to the back. And both of them came to the front. I mean, they started coming through cars, and when they did it, it was like there was that magnetic force field, and these guys couldn't get away from each other. There was some bumping and grinding. I mean, these guys were duking it out. Coming down the front straightaway, there was a 3-car deal. Woggy gets together with Trent, goes up and over the front end, smashes it up, and again, both cars to the back of the pack.
Well, racing's not a gentleman's sport.
It is to an extent.
To an extent, but
it's racing.
It's racing. To me, there's no such thing as racing too hard.
Everybody wants to win.
There is racing too hard if
you're dangerous.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you're doing dangerous things, that's too hard, but that's not professional.
So Trent, after that, goes back to the back of the pack for a third time. And when the green flag came out, there was a man on a mission. Woggy as well. Trent Elliott on the high side was absolutely incredible. I mean, he was passing 3 and 4 cars at a time through the turns. Did you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Not like getting a car on entry, like blowing wide open through the turns and passing 3 or 4 cars and the long way around up on the top.
The confidence he has in that car and making that car turn left is just amazing.
I'll tell you right now, those guys have got that car figured out. Absolutely have that car figured out. Now, I'll tell you something else. This $4,000 to win deal, if you thought things were interesting last week and things would be interesting coming in, I have been on the phone, okay? I've been on the phone a lot the last few days, talking with drivers, talking about this and that. I know some things going on in the background that's going to shock some people when this whole thing rolls out. So be ready for some surprises, okay? I'm not even going to say it on the air. I'm not going to – I can, but I won't because I don't want to ruin it for everybody else. I think this is one of those deals where it's just going to be like, whoa. I haven't even said anything to you guys yet. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
All right.
Then I'll post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
No.
Hit me up on.
No, but I want to see the look on your faces.
I
haven't
already
even.
know.
Did I tell you?
I know. Yeah.
You guys, you three, wait till you hear this. I'm going to leave it alone. But back to the show. Back to you have no idea.
We have no idea.
Here's one thing I have confirmed. Kellen Chadwick will be there in a late model.
Nice.
And
good.
I had to clear up some rumors on there to get to the truth because I heard he was going to be in a different car. Kellen Chadwick will actually be in the number 20 of Chris Biggs.
Ah.
Chris Biggs giving up the seat for $4,000 to win, bringing in a hot shoe. Remember I said that. Okay? Remember I said that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right?
Like I said, I have a pretty good idea.
You have no idea.
Oh, I've got an idea.
I'll guarantee you when I tell you you're going to go,
I definitely have no idea.
I think it's a good thing.
And I don't want to ruin it for the fans. I'll talk about that Saturday night on the system. It's. I'll tell you right now, it sure surprised the heck out of me. I think we're going to be looking at a strong field of cars. I've had a lot of conversation with guys. Some guys aren't a big fan of the limited field. 16 cars, that's it. If there's 40 cars that show up, 16 are going in. If you can't make the cream, wow.
So those
that's tough.
Yeah.
those heats are going to be fun.
The heats
Yes.
are
They're
going
going
to
be fun time.
I hope there's 16 cars left to start the feature after those heat races.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the format. They're going to run 4 heats. That's the schedule. That's what's on the schedule now. 4 heats.
16 per heat.
16
Well,
per heat. Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be 16 per heat.
16 per heat.
Maybe there might be a 14 at the end.
We're going to have
That's actually more than there is late models in the state anyway.
Yeah.
So.
the top 3 from the heat
California.
races are getting locked in. So the top 12 out of the heats are locked in. Then they're going to run a B main / last chance. One more shot. That's it. B main.
Is that the remaining of the field, right?
That's it.
After the 12.
And they're taking 4 cars out of there. Now, here's the interesting thing. The top 4 positions in the B, they don't pay anything. But you get to transfer up to the show. Okay?
Which you get paid.
5th on back will get paid. They'll get paid more than they do
Yeah.
in the B, but there's no cash for the top 4 spots in the B. It's just a shot at the show for the $4,000. Okay.
Right on.
Now,
this is going to be awesome.
But
gonna be a lot
here's
of
the
fun.
deal. Once that 16-car field is set after heats and LCQ, last chance qualifier, we're going to take the top 8 of the feature, the top half. We're going to put them on the track for an 8-lap scramble. The top 8 cars for 8 laps, and where you finish is where you're going to start the feature.
Oh,
I got
my.
goosebumps. Oh,
It's going to be a good night.
Now, if you think the heats were going to be crazy,
Wait till you get to the scramble.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
I kind of want to be in the stands for that one.
You're
I
gonna
see
get
more down
demolished.
there. I'm not just chasing one car at a time.
Do I have to run cameras this weekend?
Oh, we're running cameras.
I just want to be a fan.
Yeah. Can I set up
Turn
my
the
camera
cameras
auto
on.
Snap?
Turn the cameras on, and just hang on. It's going to get crazy. Ryan, I'm not even going to tell him now. Ryan Nelson says he'll buy you lunch if I tell you the news. Not going to happen.
Lunch? What kind of lunch?
He's talking to you, too, Gary.
Oh, he's talking to me?
Yes.
What
Ryan's
kind of lunch
talking
is
to
it?
you.
Let's get some details in here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is it steak? Is it lobster?
Steak and lobster.
Chili?
Come on, Nelson.
Now,
We're taking bids now.
we've talked about
Send me your phone, and I'll text it to you.
there is anybody and everybody that shows up for this deal. They're hungry. I'm going to tell you a couple cars I want you to watch. Okay, at that show. We know there's some big names coming. We know that. Some of the out-of-towners, some of the out-of-staters. Okay. One guy that is impressing me is that 40 car of Everson. I know who he's talking to for setup advice. There's a reason why that car is getting better and better every single week.
And I know, too.
Yeah, I know you do. When it comes time for, I'm going to bet he's in the show. I'm going to bet that 40 car makes the show as fast as he's been. He's kind of my dark horse in this team coming in. He's a local. He knows that racetrack. Okay. I don't think anybody at that track really considers Trent Elliott a local. He's only been there the last year and a half.
He is fairly local, though, if you think about it.
Well, Lapine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a couple-hour drive. But I don't care what anybody says. You're going to have to – that's one of the cars. If you're going to take that $4,000 check, it's one of the cars you're going to have to beat. This isn't going to be a cakewalk. Joey Tanner's going to be there. Doug Elkins. B.J. Donofrio. Tomas Hunziker. Kellen Chadwick. Everson. Or some more names coming. The Guglielmani gang. The Guglielmanis are bringing their cars.
Don't forget Waggy.
And there's another guy that you better be on your toes.
You see how good that car?
Well, it's a really good race car with a really good driver. Mark Waggy could easily walk down. That guy's a 7-time track champion in the modifieds there. Do not bet against him to win this. There's $4,000 on the line. These guys, you're going to see these guys squeeze every ounce of performance out of those race cars and themselves. It's going to be this is going to be the most wild race. I think this is going to be more wild than the $5,000 to win our Charles Snyder's the following week. I believe that. When was the last time we saw big money like this for a late model race on the West Coast? 3 years ago at the Budweiser Nationals when it paid $5,000 to win.
Okay, I
This
was
is the
thinking
biggest-
before that.
This is the biggest race since.
Wow.
Okay, and it was $5,000 if you won both nights. It was $2,000 the first night, $3,000 the second. Nobody did it. Two drivers won. Glacier won the first night, and I want to say it was Bobby Hogue the second night that did it. This is going to be this is Gunslinger City we're going into. Things are going to get hot and heavy and wild. I'm pretty excited about this show. I've been talking about it all year.
I'm taking a bunch of sleeping pills tonight so I can sleep all the way up till Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I think we're going to
Because,
need it,
time
actually.
flies when you're sleeping, right?
Hey, I'm taking off work all day Friday to help get this place ready for an event we're having.
Was that like a We is that like we have to take Friday off kind of jab?
You probably
or-
should.
Good thing
You probably
I wish
should.
I'm pretty sure I'm open.
I'm just kidding with you.
Maybe we
you
should
can,
all take
you,
it off.
You can cater.
I'll be bright and early. Oh, okay.
You be the caterer.
I can cater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nina
We
can
just
cook,
give
there's
you
no
money
doubt.
and you'll make all the food, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get into, and I just went straight into this because I want to talk about the race of the night. Last Saturday night at Southern Oregon Speedway. I didn't have much of a voice left over. I've been struggling with my voice all season. This has been the worst year for announcing as far as my voice goes. You can still hear it. I think part of it has been allergies. I think part of it's been
We did get sick there.
Southern
for a
Oregon
while.
Speedway.
You need some of that soothing Hawaiian air.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Oh, yes.
You want me to breathe in your
How
mouth?
many modifieds rolled out for that?
Oh my God.
Was there 20 or 22?
Something like that. Yeah. I got the sheet here.
A huge field of modifieds rolled onto the track, and I thought to myself, "Oh man, we're in for a big one here tonight." Green flag dropped. Andy Freeman on the pole in the 30F. We had some guys up front that were just BA fast. Andy Freeman in that 30F car absolutely impressed me. Green flag came out. He found his groove in the first 2 laps, and he kept that car there, and he knew if anybody was going to get around him, they were going to have to do it on the outside. He knew that, and he protected that bottom line like he lived there, man. Phenomenal job of driving. Smooth, consistent, hit his marks every lap. He got challenged a couple times from Jeremy Ritchie. He got challenged from, I think, Fettinger was in the mix for a little bit there. We had Steve Borer in the 40 was running up front. Dave Dusty Jr. was there with Freeman. Nick Trenchard. I mean, listen to the names in this thing. Borer, Freeman, Dave Dusty, Albert Gill in the 89 was right there up front, slicing and dicing these guys. Then you had Ray Niffen, the 15J of Jeremy Ritchie, 54 of Trenchard, the 6J of Justin Foe, 68 of Jesse Bailey. Fettinger was there behind him. I mean, there was an incredible field. Paul Ray got up there. Paul Ray in the 33 came from 12th starting position, and he was running third and holding his own. I mean, and we haven't seen him, I think, but that was the first time I think all year we've seen him, and he was holding his own against, I mean, some seriously talented drivers down there at Southern Oregon. Got up to third or fourth and was right there in the hunt for the win. And about 7 laps in, I started watching towards the back of the pack because there was kind of a group of cars that have kind of separated themselves from the second group. And looking to the back of the pack, there was a particular driver who caught my eye as he jumped out to the outside. You know, we were watching all these modifieds, and they were all using the bottom half of the racetrack. Nobody was really getting outside that second groove. Jesse Bailey stepped out to the outside, and he found something.
Found everything out there.
And we start watching. I'll watch him pass a couple cars there in the back, and I'm watching Freeman and Ritchie and, you know, the Ray and all the guys up front, you know,
3 laps later,
duking it out. A couple more cars on the high side, and I said, oh, he found something up there. I start talking about Jesse Bailey. I said, hey, he's coming, folks.
it wasn't just talking; it was rev limiter action.
I knew what was coming. And we got up in the top 5 from second half of the field. He found something up top, and then he had to be a driver. He had to be a driver because he started passing cars on the top, and it was not ideal up there, but it was good enough where his car was hooking up and he was driving around people. And things were getting exciting. Now we get to the later stages, a couple of late cautions. He gets into the top 5, get a caution, restart. Looks like he's going to jump his car off turn 1. He throws it in, finds some traction. They run 2 laps, and he gets himself to third. Okay, so it was the leader, which was Andy Freeman. Sitting second was the 15J of Jeremy Ritchie, and just behind Ritchie was the 68 of Bailey. What Bailey did on the restart, pure genius. Pure genius. Because if you watch what he did on all those cautions, not all of them, and the few cautions we had, what did he do? He hung